Welcome back. In this section, we are going to learn decision trees, which is one of the most important and one of the most easy to understand machine learning algorithms. So in this lesson, we are going to go over the section overview. So we will understand better what we are going to see in this section step by step. First, we are going to work on a very famous dataset called the adult dataset, and we are going to perform exploratory data analysis on this dataset, very similar to what we did on the iris dataset. Okay, and then we will start understanding what are decision trees by understanding what is entropy and what is information gain, both theoretically and in terms of coding and in terms of Python code. After that, we are going to understand better the decision tree concept. So if anyone asks you what is a decision tree, you can answer this question with confidence. And then we will implement one of the decision tree algorithms called ID3, and we will implement it from scratch. So we will understand much better what is happening under the hood. And then we will compare our implementation with the sklearn implementation. And by doing so, we will see if we implemented the decision tree correctly or not. And we will also learn how we can use sklearn much better. Okay, because after you finish this course, most probably you are going to use sklearn. But why we are implementing the algorithm from scratch? So you can understand much better what is happening and you understand the concepts we are talking about. After we compare our implementation with the sklearn implementation, we will visualize the tree. So the decision tree is actually a tree with branches, edges, vertices, and so on. So we need to visualize the tree to understand much better what is happening. And after visualizing the tree, we will plot the features importance. So the decision trees are actually used for feature extraction or for understanding what are the most important features in our dataset. So after we understand what is entropy and what is information gain, in this part, we will see what are the most important features by just plotting them. And after we plot the features importance, we will understand what are the most important hyperparameters in decision trees and how we can tune these parameters. And after we learn what are the most important hyperparameters and how we can tune the decision trees to get better results, we will understand one of the most important modifications to the decision trees, which is pruning. So pruning is very important and it's actually used in the sklearn implementation. And then there will be a video on something called the gain ratio. This is not super important, but it's good to know. So it will be a bonus lesson or it will be an optional lesson. So if you skip this lesson, it will not be that important or it will not really affect your understanding for what are decision trees and the whole section. But after that, we will summarize what we have learned throughout the section by seeing and discussing the pros and the cons of the decision trees. Okay, so this is a super important and super useful lesson. And finally, to see better if we understood everything in this section, we will apply what we have learned in a hands-on project. In this project, we are going to predict whether the income for a person exceeds 50k per year or not, right? So if someone exceeds 50k per year, then we will classify this as 1. If not, we will classify it as 0 based on some information we know about these customers or about these people. Okay, and we will use decision trees to do so. So let's start the next lesson by performing exploratory data analysis on the adult dataset. So let's go.